Hello violin players, welcome to Pro Strings. I'm Henriette and this is lesson 16 in the All for Strings Violin for Beginners course. And in this lesson today we're learning the third finger on the A string and the third finger on the D string. And by the end of the lesson I'm hoping that you feel comfortable playing this finger with the correct technique, and also that you know the letter names of the third fingers on the D and A strings. But most importantly, and you've got to wait for this right until the end of this video, we're going to play a D scale round. And this is the first video ever that I've done on this channel, playing in 3 parts. So let's hope for the best. Okay, let's get started. And let's have your violin up on your shoulder with the correct left hand position. I'm not going to say it step by step anymore now, I'll let you sort that out. And then when you're ready, we're going to play on the A string first, and we're playing every note twice with long bows. So we're going on A, first finger on A, and sing the second finger with me. And now when the third finger comes along, we're placing it right next to the second finger, so no space in between. It's going to sound like this. So while we had a whole tone between the open string and the first finger and the first finger and the second finger, there is now a semitone, a half step between the second and third fingers. Shall we do that again? Here we go on the open A string. Now, there are 2 things that I want you to think about. First of all, your wrist. It's very tempting when you place the third finger to move your wrist like this. So can you please double check that you're pushing it out still? The next thing is that when you play the third finger on the A string, your pinky is hovering over the A string as well. In any case, it's not down here. So that I want you to check if it's sort of up there instead of down. Okay, so fingers that you don't use tend to hover above the strings, you see. Now before we play this again, let's have a look in our book and check out exercise 71. Actually, I'm changing my mind. Let's not look at 71. Let's have a look at this grid here at the top, where you can see the whole steps. So the whole tones between the open A string and the first finger, but also between the first finger and the second finger. And you can see that this third finger here is placed right next to the second finger. That is that finger pattern that we talked about a moment ago. Now, these notes look like this. So in between the second line from the bottom and the third line from the bottom of the staff, there is this A. Then the B, as we know, is on top of the center line. The C sharp is in between the next 2 lines, and the D, which is the letter name of this third finger, is on top of a line again. This little bracket here that you can see in your book means that there is a half step. In other words, your fingers are together right there, so the second and third fingers are together. So now when we have a look at exercise 71, you've got A, 1, 1, second finger, third finger, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Some people make a habit of writing those numbers above their notes. I would recommend that you go through the music before you play and try to avoid writing it down, because if you write down your fingers and your whole book becomes filled with fingerings, you will never learn your notes, you see. So you might crack this nut today and sort out which note is which finger. And maybe go over it again tomorrow, and maybe also the day after tomorrow and next week. But then you'll find that you will remember which note is which finger. So just give it a bit of time but see if you can avoid writing your numbers in above every single note in your book. Shall we play this now? So again, we're going to multitask when we play this piece. We're going to play the fingers, so that is one thing that you want to focus on, but at the same time I would be absolutely delighted if you were able to shift your attention away from the fingers, if you like, and check that you're playing half bows for the quarter notes or crotchets, and whole bows, so long bows, for the half notes or the minims. So will you join me? I'll count us in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was good, really nice. Now we know already that the notes are called A, B, C sharp and D, and that brings us to the next point. The D should be matching in tuning with the open D string. So if I played this and played my D here, the third finger, that should sound like the same D as this one. So if your finger is a little bit too sharp, you might find yourself here, and that doesn't match, it doesn't blend in with the open D string. So using the open string is a very reliable method, provided you tune your violin frequently. But it is a very good method to check the tuning of your third finger. So if you're finding yourself playing here, oh, you're not quite in tune, aren't you? Can you hear how that blends in really nicely? That is a very useful exercise to train your hearing, really, to check out whether you are actually in tune and you're not fooling yourself, because that can be easily done when you play the violin, because you haven't got frets like you'd have on a guitar, for instance. Let's move on now and let's have a look at exercise 72, and this time we're playing the third finger on the D string. Now the principle is all the same, so you've got a wide gap between fingers 1 and 2, and then your third finger right by the side of your second finger. Now on the D string, your notes are called, the open string is D, E is the first finger, F sharp is the second finger, and G is the third finger. And now I can almost hear you say G, so I can check the third finger on the D string with the open G string, and that is correct. We'll come to that in a moment. So let's first play exercise 72 now. Check over all your positions. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you're talking. That is a really good way of playing a D major scale. Well done you. Very clever. Now, it may be that I've gone a bit too fast for you today, since we are now moving further down the line of these lessons. Gradually we're speeding up a little bit, but if you find that too much, just pause the video and play it slowly a few times over until you can keep up, and that's totally fine. Quite a lot of people will be in your position as well. Now let's every time we hit a third finger, pause and check it with the correct open string. So when we're starting exercise 72 in the first bar, first of all we come across the third finger on the D string. So we're pausing and just checking the tuning with the open G. Here we go. And. Here it is. Just pause here and let's check if this finger is correct with the G string. And once you're happy, let's carry on in bar 2. Now this third finger on the A string, we should be able to check with the open D string. Remember, this note was called D, therefore I can check it with my D string. Take your time to adjust your finger if you're here. Oh! If you're here, you might want to check all the fingers 1 and 2 as well, because it may be that fingers 1 and 2 are not in the right positions, and that's causing the third finger to fall too flat. But once you're happy, let's continue now on the 4th bar. Check your note. And continue. Check your note. Carry on. Again to check your note. I'll let you do it. Once you're happy, carry on. Amazing, really well done, very good. Okay. Now it may be that you've got really good at tuning your left hand fingers now, but that you're constantly hitting other strings that you don't actually mean to play, but that just come into your playing. Or maybe you haven't even had the time to listen to that at all. And that's okay, because I'm pointing this out to you so that you develop your overall technique. So not just the left hand technique or not just the bowing technique. Different things happen for different people, so that's why I give you options to check your technique, you see. So if you accidentally hit strings that you don't mean to play, something is the matter with your right elbow level. You remember that in one of the earlier lessons we said it's your right elbow that determines which string the bow plays on. Now here we're playing on the D string, on the A string, on the D string, on the A string, so it may well be that your elbow is getting confused. So let's play this one final time, the same exercise, and let's focus on your elbow levels. So we're starting on the D string, so my elbow is a little bit higher now, and keep the same level. So thus far, all my notes have been on the D string, haven't they? However, from bar 3 onwards, we're going to the A string. So look, my elbow level is going down. So let's play bar 3 and 4. Awesome, that was all on the A string. But now we're going to continue on the D string again. So can you see my levels? I'm going back onto the D string, but not for long, just one bar, and then I'm adjusting my elbow levels. I'm going on to the A string, then one bar later I'm back on the D string again, and one bar later I'm back on the A string again. So here we start with our scale passages. D string now. Switch your elbow level to the A string. Switch back your elbow level to the D string. Switch back to your elbow level on the A string again. That's super practice. Well done, really good. Now, that is a lot to remember all in one go, so I would recommend you to stick with this lesson for a couple more days. So you might play it back tomorrow and play it back again the day after tomorrow, so you really get used to both your elbow levels, the bowing that you use, half bows. Check over that you stay at the lower half of the bow. Check over that your left hand position is correct and that you're playing in tune. So there's a lot in this exercise that you might not, on the face of it, notice straight away, you see. So take your time to develop all these techniques because you want to be prepared for what comes later, you see. So holding yourself back and not be tempted to carry on with the next lesson straight away is actually a good thing. I always say to people, you get faster progress when you are able to slow yourself down and sort out earlier bits. It means that in the long term, your progress is much more steady. Now then, let's have a look now at exercise 73. And what happens in exercise 73, first of all, we're playing with long bows. You can see they're all half notes or minims. So we're playing with straight bows, we're stretching our bow arm forwards. And we're playing up the D scale to the top D, and then we're going to go down again. Now let's play that first, shall we? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you see all these mini notes, 3 bars from the end, and that means if you come from an open A string and you place 3 fingers, you're not only placing the third finger, but you place 1, 2 and 3, remember, because we're always having lower fingers on the string if we're playing a higher finger. So in this case we're playing the third finger on the D string, which means that fingers 1 and 2 are also on the string, and it might well be wise to play this initially. So once you come from that open A string, place all your fingers first and hear what they sound like, and then carry on playing the third finger. Now before you move on to the next section of this video, I want you to make sure that you can play this without stopping, because we're going to play this like a round. Now when we play a round, we're going to come into the same piece at different times. So you are going to play what is indicated by Roman numeral 1. So you're going to start with me the first time round. You'll find that your 2 accompaniment parts are not actually playing until bars 2 and 3. So let's see how this works, shall we? We're playing the whole song 3 times over. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was very, very good playing. If you made it today right through to the end, excellent. If you didn't quite make it or you got confused, then I think that will be the majority of you guys playing with this video, especially if this is your first go today. Please don't be disheartened if you find that very confusing. Just give it another go tomorrow and maybe the day after tomorrow or maybe the day after that. And you'll find that gradually you'll get a little bit further. So if you're only able to manage 3 bars today, tomorrow you might be able to get 4 bars. And the day after tomorrow, 5 bars. So you will grow into this piece as you progress. So this is very much a little bit of a patience game. But you're doing the right thing, just gaining an experience all the time and building stamina also. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed that. If you have, do consider becoming a member of Henriette's Violin Club. You know, this is our community of players who are having some special perks, so you want to be one of them. Check out the link down below in the description to this video what Henriette's Violin Club actually is, but we are very much looking forward to welcoming new members, so maybe it could be you. Goodbye.